Lockhart perspective. Well, hello and good evening to everyone. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. Being with family and friends is really a good thing, and today's Sabbath meal was off the chain, if I do pat myself on the back. So I hope that everybody has had a really, really relaxed time with family and friends. This evening, we're going to look at what happened with Elijah and what was going on in the camp when, he just had to say, hey, you need to get it together. Let's pull it together. There's so much that's going on right now around the nation, around this world, around the whole entire globe. Everyone seems to be dealing with something or another that makes them feel a little less than, or that makes them feel a little less in faith. And I know that's one particular thing that we all love to talk about in the kingdom, and that is to have faith. But to have that strong belief that our Father is going to take care of us, right? Now, I think that it's the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do is to look at the current circumstances and get very afraid, become very concerned, become very worn down, and become bewildered in the things that we see. As a matter of fact, I think that it's easier for us to look at those things, lay down and give up like the number 52 coming after you, than it is for us to just decide that we're going to do everything that we can to change the trajectory of our situation. It's easy to just give up. And so the passage that I'm going to look at this evening is definitely going to come from the book of dun 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 2 Kings 6:14 and 17. Now, we all know this, but I really want to drive it home with all of us this evening that it is so, so very vital that we understand that when we have the King of Kings with us, it doesn't matter what's going on around us, that we can literally rest in him because he alone fights all of our battles. Well, this is 2 Kings 6:14 through 17. And I'm going to start reading at verse 14. So the Syrian king sent their horses and chariots and a great army. They came by night and surrounded the city. Now, how many times have you had a bad situation and it takes place at night? There's nobody you can call. You feel like there's nothing that you can do, but you've been surrounded by debt or by pain or by mental anguish or nightmares that just don't seem to go away, or, thinking about a situation that happened earlier in the day. You're replaying it in your mind and you're wishing that you could have dealt with it a different way. This thing hit them at night because they moved in on them when they were at their most vulnerable. Verse 15 says, when the servant of the man of God rose early and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was around the city. Elisha's servant said to him, alas, my master, what shall we do? I'm sure he was quaking in his boots. What should we do? Don't you see this out here? Look at all of these people. Look at these chariots. You know that they're going to come in and overtake us. So what shall we do? Elijah answered and said, fear not, for those with us are more than those with them. Then Elijah prayed, Yahweh, I pray you, open his eyes that you may see. And Yahweh opened the young man's eyes, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots and fire round about Elisha. Elijah said, open up his eyes that he may see. He was telling him, I need you to let this cat be on the same level that I'm on, because I'm on your level. I'm where you are. I see what you want me to see. I don't see what they tell me to see. I see what you want me to see. And so I want you, Yahweh, to open up this lad's eye. Open up his eyes and let him see that You already got this. And that's what I want to tell you tonight. I want to let you know that it doesn't matter what you see on any broadcast. I don't care what they tell you. Open up your eyes and you will see that the one that's with you is greater than the ones that come up against you. And it doesn't matter what it is. Whenever you decide you want to say, oh yeah, but they said, but they said this, and they said this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Who cares? Did they put any of the stars in the sky in place? Did they say light be and there was? Do they watch as the moon does what it does and the ocean works in sync with it? Did they do that? No, they did not. And so because we know they did not, I want you to change your mind and change your mouth and change what you are saying on a daily basis. Watch and see what happens. You see, it's the easy, simple things that sort of make us all confused. Because when it's the easy and simple things, we just cannot believe that a situation can be solved simply by trusting in our Elohim, in our Father. We simply just cannot believe that all it takes for us to do is to change our mind and see things His way. That seems crazy. That seems too easy. That seems so simple. And yet, He said, open up His eyes that He can see. So don't you know that you got an army camped around and about you? Don't you understand that no matter what goes on, He's got you? Ask Him tonight to open up your eyes that you can see. Change your mouth, change your mind, change it. That's what we do. When He opened up His eyes and He could see, oh man, I guarantee you that there wasn't a worry in the world. That there was not one worry in the world. None. And why should there be? Just like I said a second ago, He created everything that is, and everything that is was created by Him. And you were made just a little lower than the angels. You were made in His image. So do you really think that another creation or being that was made the same way you were made, although their motives might be in an ulterior fashion, that they're any better than you? I submit not. That's not the way that it works. He and He alone has got this. So 2 years has passed and a lot of us have seen a lot of jobs leave. A lot of us have seen some family members come and go. A lot of us have seen a lot of things that would shake a lot of other people. But I'm here to tell you, you got some power, baby, because you're still here. And as long as you're here, you still got that chance. And you've got a chance to just speak life. You've got the chance to speak what He tells you to speak. You've got the chance to show love in situations that others would not. You've also got the situation to close out relationships and people that don't mean you any well and don't look back. You've got the power to cut off everything that would prevent you or has prevented you from moving forward. And it's all in your relationship with Yahweh. It's all wrapped up in Him. Something so simple that if we just put our mind on Him and say, you know what? I know that what I see, I know that the things that I've seen recently can be pretty creepy and pretty scary. But what I believe is you do all things well, and that you are going to protect me and that you are going to bring me through this. That is what I believe, that you are going to bring me through this. And I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Not at all. It doesn't matter. Because He allowed the young servant to actually get a gander of what was standing outside. And can you imagine going out there to look and you find nothing but chariots and armed soldiers there to take care of you? Now, here's the problem. To see that and then to still believe that you're going to lose. To still believe that you're going to lose. That's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, that's an issue. But you don't have that as an issue because you are a child of the Most High. And everything that He's given to you and yours is yea and amen. All the good stuff that He's got for you, especially when you're lining up, doing life His way. Oh, man. And I think that a lot of times that's the part that gets us, that's the part that gets us, because all we can think of is the last bad thing we said or the last mean thing we did. That's what we can think about. Well, here's what I want to tell you. Guess what? Throw that away. If you cut up, stop it. Lay it at His feet. Ask for forgiveness. Don't do it no more. And continue to try to do this thing the right way. Keep His Sabbath. You already know that. You already know the principles. You already know the principles. I don't have to repeat that to you. You know the principles. You know that there's an A and a B side. A, if you do this, then I'm going to do that. Conversely, if you don't do A, then you're not going to get B. You're going to get C. Right? So it is incumbent upon each and every one of us to remember that passage that we just read. He said, Father, open up his eyes that he can see. Now, some would say, well, my eyes are always open. And I'm sure that that's what that young man probably thought too. What is he talking about? Open up my eyes so I can see. I could see. I was looking. What does he mean by that? Well, he explained it, didn't he? He explained it. When he told him just open up his eyes. Let's read that passage again, especially for those who may want to get it, but you really didn't get it, but you've heard it before. And you say, well, I already know that passage. Listen. So the Syrian king sent their horses, their chariots, and a great army. Not only did they send the chariots and the horses, they also sent a great army. They came by night and surrounded the city. And when the servant of the man of God rose early and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was around the city. Elijah's servant said to him, Alas, master, what shall we do? Oh God, what shall we do? Did you see how many of them? Did you see what they said on the news? Did you see? Did you see what they said is going to happen in April? Did you see what they say is going to happen? Oh my goodness. I know I'm poking fun, but that's primarily what this cat was seeing. And this is what he was saying. I really don't think that he just walked up to Elijah and said, hey, master, what are we going to do? I don't think that that's how he handled that. I think he was very terrified because he already knew history, that if that's what you see, the next thing that you see is you're going to be torn asunder. Yeah, that's what he knew. That's why he said, what shall we do? And in verse 16, Elijah answered, and I'm going to put it in layman's term, man, don't have no fear about all of that stuff. For those who are with us are more than those with them. And I can imagine his eyes looking like, oh, Elijah has lost it. He's really gone and flipped the turnip truck now. Doesn't he see how many people this is? I don't understand. It's not just the people, and it's not just it's the army, it's the chariots, it's the horses. This is a whole gigantic army of people against us, little old us. I can only imagine that. Then Elijah answered and said, Fear not. Have no fear. Let no fear come within your space. Have no fear. For those with us are more than those with them. Then what did Elijah do? He interceded on the young buck's behalf, and it says that he prayed. Elohim, I pray you open his eyes that he might see. And Yahweh opened the young man's eyes, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and full of chariots of fire around about Elijah. So that means he needed to stay connected to the man of God. Because this was all around about Elisha. Why? Because Elijah was not motivated or moved by fear. He was on a mission. He knew what his mission was. He knew what he was supposed to do. He knew that the commission was given to him for him to do X, Y, or Z. And he wasn't worried about the fact that all those cats were out there. And so as long as this young buck stayed around him and continued to grow thereby, by his example that Elijah led in his life, he was going to be okay. Because you see, while you are around people of like mind and of like faith, you grow in the same manner that they do. You begin to speak like them, act like them, walk like them, talk like them, live separated like them. Conversely, if you hang out with people who have nothing else to do but to talk about others, become fearful of everything that they see, always, shaking in their boots, and then want to, tell everybody how to do things instead of being, submitted and humble, then you're going to be the same way. Because it's impossible for me to hang out with somebody who talks, good all the time and lives a good and separated life, and for me to end up the opposite. One or two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to leave them or they're going to leave me, because one of us are not going to be able to hang around that long. Right? One of us are going to be able to say, you know what, this relationship isn't working. They're always negative, or they're always too positive, and I can't fake the funk anymore if you're the negative ninny, and you got to go. So because of Elijah's impression that he led on that young man, he ended up being benefited because of that relationship. So relationship is very important. Having faith in our Father is of utmost importance, and not being moved by any army that you see, because it doesn't matter what the army looks like. It doesn't matter who sent the army. None of that matters, not when you have him by your side. You guys understand that right now there are so many things that we could choose to have our minds stayed on. And believe me, there are 1,000,002 entities that would love for that to happen and that are trying to make sure that it does. What I'm saying is that Elijah captured the blinded servant, that he captured all of the soldiers. He captured that servant, and he captured the soldiers. He captured them because the soldier, the guy who was with him, the servant, was blinded. But then so were these others, because if they could see what this worker saw, they would have rolled out. They would have been like, listen, I don't know what the penalty is for me running out of here, but I'm telling you right now, I'm about to, because I see what is protecting this guy, and I don't want anything to do with it. So the Syrians were blinded and subdued, and at the same time, so was this worker, so was this young man. So I want to submit that today is a good day. It's an excellent day to pick up and take up where you need to take up, so that tomorrow when it gets here, that you don't have anything to worry about. Put all this in your mind as you go to sleep, press it down, shake it all together, and then push it down some more. Add more of the word onto that, and then push it down, and then add some more. As you shake and add more word, shake and add more word, you'll find that your basket is very, very, very full. And it's full. It's an arsenal of truth. And that's what you want. That's what you want. Cut out all the fat. Cut out everything that will lead you to not believe in him and not trust that he's got your best interest, because he really does have your best interest. Take the scripture and use it constantly. Go right there. 2 Kings 6:14 through 17. Pick it up. Take it. Put it around your neck. Read it as often as you can. A giant army. Horses. Listen, it says horses, chariots, and a great army. Can you imagine? That's just like saying Humvees, tanks, and a great army. Okay? So don't be discouraged, and don't be dismayed, and don't be moved by everything you turn it on and see. And I don't care if it's me, doing a narrated story. Don't you have no fear about that. I don't care who it is. I don't care what it is. You know that the one that is with you is greater than the ones that's after you. I don't care if the ones that's after you is the mortgage company, because maybe you shouldn't have taken that last mortgage out, but you did it anyway. And now, much to your chagrin, you've got a little bit of issue going on. Well, I learned from that, you think, and I won't do it again. Okay, great. Well, just have faith. Trust in him. Believe. It's going to be all right. It really is. I want to say hello to Marty Lauderdale. How are you, Deb Woods? Good evening. Sandy Aaron, how are you? Charlie Sigler, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Sharon Marie, pretty lady, it's good to see you as well. It's good to see all you. Daryl Calhoun, how's it going? Hi from Bloomington, Indiana. Hello to you. Hello to you. Sandy says, I know that he is totally in control, but what gets me is when I see the suffering around me. Absolutely it will. It'll absolutely do that. There's going to be two reasons why that'll get you. The first reason is to get you off your block, off your starting block. And then the second thing is for you to see what it is that you need to intercede for, and then you go in. So the first thing is, for you to go in above all. But then the second thing that happens is a lot of times when you see it, it throws you off your game. And it's meant to do both of those things. But only one of them can prevail, right? Only one of them can prevail if we see something. And don't you know that's happened to us many, many times in our lives? Where we'll see something and we don't know which direction to go? Yeah. Yes. That's exactly it. Hello, King BJ. Steve Willis, how are you? William Craig, what's going on? And Lady M, good evening to you as well. I see you're back, the awakened. The awakened Satan within Christ. You were blinded by the Super Saiyan final flash. Oh boy. Eventually some of this truth is just going to rub off, y'all. Some of the truth is just going to rub off. I talk to my grandkids a lot about folly, the spirit of folly. And I let them know and I let them understand exactly where that spirit comes from and how they have to eventually in life at one point or another take the things that's going on around them serious to the point of changing it. And the only way that you can change any of these things is by supplication, is by separation, is by interceding, and it is by prayer. That's the only way any of this stuff is going to change. And you'll find a few people that say, I don't have time to be praying. We don't have time for that. We need to do X, Y, or Z. Well, I submit, I'm going to intercede and you can do it your way. And I guarantee you that if you intercede and let Yah handle it instead of you trying to handle it, he got you. So I want to thank each and every one of you all for coming on in and checking this out and looking at how the Syrians were camped around about Elijah. And then I want to also thank you for understanding that you are right there and he sees you. And that the army that is with you, that the chariots that are with you, that the horses that are with you are greater than those that are with the enemy. Because he's got you. He's got you. He's got you. Because you are his. You are his. I'm my beloved's and he is mine. His banner over me is love. I'm my beloved and he is mine. His banner over me is love. I'm my beloved and he is mine. His banner over me is love. His banner over me is love. I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me for the last 25 minutes. Just wanted to come here, hug on your necks, and give you a little bit of encouragement, as it has encouraged me to see the word and feel so much better because of it. I want you guys to remember what we always say here on this channel, and that is, hey, Rachel Van Ziel, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of one another. Until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you